Here's the thing, guys. If you want to get better at Apex Legends, you have to admit that you got to start from the bottom. And as many of you know on this channel, I help people do that better than almost anyone. And I'll tell you what, at least longer than anyone, since I've been here day one talking about tips to improve. Now, in this video, I want to dive into the best legends for beginners. And whether you're a player who's played in the past and coming back trying to find your feet again in a game that is difficult and constantly changing, or whether you're truly new and picking up Apex, whether it's season 21 or season 33, this video should have value for you with strong basic principles on how to take a legend and get better and learn the mechanics of the game. So let's get into it. Before we do that, there's 3 big points I want to make before the video begins. 1, while manners maketh man, a character does not make a player. So even though I'm offering the best legends to ease your way into the game and be effective for your team and effective for yourself, it doesn't mean that you can't choose anybody and still do the same thing. While it may be more difficult, while you might have different challenges, it's still possible to play the game you want. That's the beauty of Apex. That's the beauty of competing. Number 2, this list is about giving you opportunities to succeed. It doesn't mean that you will succeed right away. While the principles may be sound, it's going to be up to you to impact the game and learn from your mistakes. So as you do that, whether negatively or positively, look at each game to try to take something from it and to get better. Number 3, I've decided to make a difficult choice and leave out Pathfinder in this list, which I think is a pretty good beginner legend because I want to include a controller, a legend in a different role, a different type, a little bit more advanced, and could have been in the advanced legends video that I'm making. But I think right now it's important that many people have different play styles, and while they're not the most popular picks, certainly some of you will like the slower, more methodical, strategic style. And in Apex, there are a few legends that can give you that, even as you're starting to learn the game. Last but not least, many of you who are watching this video are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Now let's get into it. Number 5, best legend for beginners is Octane. Octane ranks number 5 on this list for some of the reasons and principles that I'll be ranking other legends in this video on. And it's a good time to set the table straight for the foundation of what you can expect. Octane is simple and allows you to focus on the principles of the game. While he is a fun character that gives you movement through his stim to make you go faster in fights or running away or towards things that you want to engage in, or his jump pad to give you aerial mobility and allow your team access to places or away or to places that they wouldn't have normally had access to, Octane is truly a straightforward character that means you don't have to spend as much time thinking about how you'll use your abilities and you could focus more on the game. The principle for beginner legends, in my opinion, and anyone starting out in a game, is taking 2 different approaches. 1, you could try to learn everything all at once. Learn the items, learn the characters, learn the maps. That's a lot. But in a way, you become a little bit of a jack of all trades. Nothing surprises you, but you're not great at anything. What I've liked to suggest, and I think many people follow this advice, is to pick one thing. Pick a legend that allows you to know the legend well and focus on learning the mechanics, the intricacies of the game. Because truly, at the highest of levels, the difference usually isn't whether you hit your shots. The difference is how smart you are, how well you know Apex, and how good of a decision you can make when time is of the essence. So picking a simple character allows you to focus more on that, and that's why a lot of these suggestions will give you that framework to work with. Back to Octane, he really is just a great, straightforward legend, and honestly, he's one of the highest picked legends in the game and has been since his release, and I believe season 2 of Apex Legends. It's so crazy how long he has been in the game, but he's been so fun and offers one of the most important things in Apex. It's mobility. Learning how to navigate in this map with extra speed in gunfights, which other characters will have against you, you'll be able to kind of nullify that advantage, whether it's a Bloodhound in their ultimate, whether it's Bangalore just with her double time passive, which when she's doing anything basically gives her 30% movement speed. Octane has to basically cut off his left arm just to get that. It's not fair, but hey, that's life. If you enjoy fast-paced play and the ability to go from A to B quicker than most other legends, while also giving your team a bit of support, especially when trying to get to high ground, Octane is a great beginner legend for you, and also helps you learn the game quickly and easily without a lot of character fuss. The number 4 best legend for beginners in Apex Legends is Wraith. From being the #1 solo queue and streamer pick legend in the days of Asu and Dizzy popping off with the likes of Wraith, to even still being a viable pro pick in our Los Angeles Apex Legends Split 1 LAN that happened a few weeks ago, showcasing the talents of DSG, Designful, Enemy, and it's Timmy on the Wraith, the only one in the lobby. This character has flexibility, it's got prowess, prominence, and will allow you to learn a lot of deep mechanics in Apex. One of the things that makes Wraith so good as a beginner legend is her immunity frames. When you go into the void in her tactical, you are not taking any damage. You can move and you can have yourself make mistakes and get out of those situations a lot easier than other legends. Let's face it, when you're a beginner, you're going to misstep. You're going to get into a fight you shouldn't have. And having the ability to press that invulnerability, get out of there and regroup with your team is super invaluable. The other thing I like about Wraith for beginners is her passive allows you to know when a player or a team is looking at you. And just that audio cue may help players realize that, I know I want to rotate right now, but I might be in more of a dangerous situation than I think. Finally, her ultimate, I think this is one of the biggest things that I love putting her in this list for, is because you get to learn how to maneuver a team in a more tactical situation, but safely. Her portal can set up your teammates to die instantly, but it can also win you games. And having access to that at an early stage while you're learning Apex gives you another mobility tool, as you can use it and speed up and maybe get from a zone closing in to a center that's safe. Or you could start to learn the tactics behind it by failing, and then seeing what works in late game scenarios by taking your team from one building maybe to underneath a building that wins the game. A Wraith portal can truly be that valuable, especially when combined with other legends and other teammates who are ready to follow up and rotate with you. Now, while this may put some onus on your shoulders to be a good IGL or at least have a plan in the end game, so what? That's how you get better, and that's why Wraith is 4th on this list. The #3 best beginner legend in Apex Legends, this is a spicy one, it's Caustic. Now, don't get mad at me. I know many of you right now are typing that comment in the chat, and you know what? Go ahead, do it. Leave it on the video. Let's argue in the comments. And also, if you're enjoying this video, leave a like, because I'm trying to get you guys thinking about where you actually want to take your game in Apex. Let's be honest, there are people who are more aggressive and more mobility focused, more in-game focused, and maybe more beginning focused, where they just want to frag out, see what happens, and hopefully they make it to a final zone. If you're that type of player who likes to be more methodical, strategic, if you don't need an early fight but you want to set up for the big win, then Caustic might be for you, especially if you have a slower pace and like to know your surroundings before taking your first step into them. Caustic is in this list for that reason specifically, and even in the beginning of Apex, I haven't really enjoyed playing this character. I've respected him because he truly does allow you to have that set up in a house and control an area like a controller should. To be fair, in high-level play of Apex, and as you get better and better, controllers only become more valuable as they allow you to see where the ring is going to end up and set up your team for success late game, which is really what Apex is all about. While it may not be as fun and as run and gun as some of the earlier legends like Bloodhound or Bangalore to get in there and get active, it certainly provides a value in what Apex is all about, which is winning at the end and being the last team standing. Caustic, though, is really good to learn how to play defensively and go in when the time is right. The ultimate for Caustic, to me, is one of the best tools offensively and defensively alongside his gas canisters, which really allows you to say, okay, is it time to be defensive, or am I being overly defensive and missing an opportunity to use this gas to push another team out of that building and take it from them? These are good decisions to learn that will translate to as you get better in the game. Another big thing about Caustic that I think beginners do have to be aware of is hitboxes. While I've mentioned a lot of characters who have medium to small hitboxes like Wraith or like Octane, you really need to learn what it's like to play with a big boy. Caustic will get a huge amount of bullets hitting onto him that other characters simply will dodge. They will not be hit. He is a super big target, and so getting to end game is really one of the only ways you can have a ton of success with him. If you try to rotate very late or in the middle of a field with Caustic, it's just not going to work, and that's why he's dominated high-level pro play whenever he's been good enough with his gas to be an effective in-game threat. Teams prioritize how valuable that is because, frankly, there's just not a lot of things that can beat it, because that gas goes straight into your health and it ticks away and ends your gameplay. Now, the last thing about Caustic is to understand also that he's got a passive called Fortified, which gives him 15% less damage taken on these bullets, and he does not get slowed by bullets. So while you're learning the negatives of a huge hitbox, you can also see how you can play with those positives, as it does translate to his big buddy Gibraltar as well. While I wouldn't pick Caustic, I had to include it here for anyone who likes a more defensive style in our number 3 slot for a best beginner legend. Number 2, best beginner legends in Apex, it's gotta go to Loba. That black market boutique, let's just talk about it. Loba brings so much value to an Apex Legends squad off rip because her ultimate gives you choices to go back to the tried and true. Remember how earlier in the video I was mentioning that finding a way to keep the game simple, do the same thing, and learn the intricacies and not have to focus on your character? Well, that same thing goes for your weapon. When you find the right loadout, and this past season, it's been the Hemlock and Havoc. This current season, it's been the Wingman and the Havoc, and maybe even the Nemesis. Whatever season you're in and watching this, Loba allows you to quickly grab that gun of choice and keep it as if you're every single game always going to run into it. And that is a luxury you realize only exists with a Loba on your team. Being able to just grab that Wingman, that Havoc, that Nemesis, it's huge and allows you to practice things and, again, keep your gameplay simple. No need to try a Mozambique one day, a Longbow one day, you know, a Nemesis one day, and then a car one day. Your games are all going to be different, and you're increasing the amount of variables as to why you might have lost that fight. Loba keeps it simple, and for a beginner, this is really great. The other reason I want to include Loba in this, not her passive, which is pretty average. You get to see purple and gold items through bins and walls. I think the fact that she's got movement is huge, and a different type of movement as well. Most characters move their bodies, and their whole hitbox has to translate from where they are to where they're going to move. Otherwise, they'll get stuck. Loba and her burglar's best friend, that little bracelet that she throws, has a unique movement skill that can actually go through windows, go through doors and little crevices, and allow her to reappear behind them, making it a very safe exit or a very safe entrance into buildings for you and your team. Loba is a great individual legend, and she's also a really easy team support. And late game, when you need more grenades or more ammo or another weapon because you've run out, she is a great person to have around. So if you want to help your team, you want some personal mobility, and you want to keep your games consistent so you can learn how to be better at Apex in a big way, Loba is a great pick for beginners. Now, many of you probably already know who the number 1 legend is, but before I reveal it, I just want to thank everybody for watching. And if you are enjoying it and you're not subscribed, consider joining the Rainstorm. We're building something special here in Apex and in the gaming scene, and I'd love you to be a part of it. And if not, maybe just leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and a dislike if you didn't. Let me know in the comments why or why not this was something that you'd want to see more of or less of, and I'll hopefully tailor that so that you can have a more enjoyable experience whenever you come across some of my videos. Hey, and also a share, it doesn't hurt. Now, the final first legend in our beginners legend list for Apex Legends that you're probably going to want to play, it's Lifeline. Now, it's probably not surprising that Lifeline is in the first position on this list. She provides so much and has since the very beginning of Apex Legends. The true tried support that allows you to help your teammates, and also with a small hitbox and tons of healing at your disposal, survive, play aggressive, or play slow depending on what the mood calls for. And if you want to have a simple way to help your team, pressing E or your revive button or your interact button on your controller means that you'll get your teammates up for free while you can still keep fighting and get you those moments that make you feel like a true hero the way Apex Legends was meant to be played. The only thing about Lifeline that has been a problem in the past is the care package not really doing enough, but that's changed. Recently in Season 20 with the new perk system, and in Season 21 with the changes, Lifeline has become a strong character both early game and late game, and in team fights and as an individual. From an all-around standpoint, being able to guarantee gold backpacks and gold knockdown shields, meaning when you do revive your teammates, you do get them back up with health, so they're actually in the fight again. She provides a threat on all different areas and is a valuable asset to the team, not just in solo play, but in high-level play and specifically ranked. If you like to get better, ranked is definitely a place that you're going to be heading to in Apex Legends after you get familiar, and Lifeline is one of the best selections that you can bring into that play. Not just because she has all of these tools, but because she's a support. That's right. The fact that she is able to get banners when things go wrong, craft your teammates, and bring them back to life alongside having those extra resources, medkits, shield batteries, and healing for when fights don't go your way. Lifeline is the total package in all of the modes that you play and watch Apex, and that's why she's got to be number one. Let me know what you think about the list, and as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.